1,000 years from now, realizing the dreams of eons, humanity has reached for the stars. Explorers have charted routes and mapped the hostile worlds of space. It has not been without adversity. Across 1,000 light-years of comet-haunted emptiness, countless people live and work in space-borne colonies, some never having set foot on the surface of a world. Vast cities in space, home to millions, beacons of civilization in the lonely void. Ships ply their trade between systems, ferrying cargoes of food and equipment, or more exotic freight, perhaps luxuries from the core of the Empire, or high technology from the corporations of the Federation. But there is danger here too. Life as a trader is tough, hard, and brutal. For every legitimate cargo, there is someone prepared to carry contraband. For every honest trader, there lurks a pirate. And there are those with secrets to protect, who will stop at nothing so to do. 1,000 years of technology hasn't changed the nature of humanity. This is no sanitized universe where mankind has improved itself. If anything, mankind's darker side is more prevalent. The Empire and the Federation, failing to make a lasting peace for 1,000 years, are locked in an eternal cold war, with violence primed to erupt on the slightest trigger. On the edge of civilization, on the border of the frontier, lies the Prism system. Its ownership hangs in the balance between these two superpowers. Trying to reclaim her home, a young, idealistic woman holds the fate of an entire star system in her hands. Kahina heard the threat warning again. The words "incoming missile" flashed on the console. She could see half a dozen marks streaking towards them. The gas giant was huge in the forward windows. Luco spun his Cobra around and changed course again, triggering the electronic countermeasure system. Kahina braced herself as the unpleasant experience of ship-based combat started all over again. She turned her attention away from the scanner and back to the cockpit windows, gasping in horror at the sight that confronted her. Luco had steered his ship away from the approaching curve of the gas giant, but was now aiming the ship directly into the ring system. Already small debris was flickering past the ship, bright streaks of fire marking the demise of dust and debris as it impacted against the ship's shields and instantly vaporized. "What are you doing?" Kahina's voice was high with alarm. "We cannot outrun them, Signorina." Luco was calm and resigned. "We must evade them." "But you can't fly a ship through the rings. That's impossible. You'll kill us." Luco grinned a madman's grin. "The word impossible, Signorina? Only in the dictionary of fools." The remaining Federation fighters followed the Anaconda as it rotated up and out of the rings. They could see its shields had taken a hammering, partly from their weapons fire and partly from being unable to avoid minor collisions with stray pieces of debris. The Anaconda tore upwards, trailing a plume of disrupted flux drive energy and a flaming collection of dislodged dust and rock. The Federation fighters followed close behind, like a pack of angry bees hunting a besieged albatross. Laser fire traced around it, but later the Imperial fighters located them. "All ships! Break and defend! Break and defend!" The Anaconda lurched to one side to avoid the incoming fire as it hurtled on. The pilot pulled his controls hard to complete the turn. Red lights flashed on his console. Warning, port side maneuvering jets fail. He cursed. Damage from the last hit. He wrestled the controls the other way. Turn! Turn! No! A brief explosion lit up the darkness. "They fired on us!" the second-in-command called, his voice attenuated by the poor quality communication to the Federation battleship. "The Anaconda's gone! I repeat, gone! Imperial fighters took it out!" Static crackled and obscured his voice. "The Stards fired on us," the captain muttered before raising his voice. "Weapon systems live. Lock targets and open fire on the Imperials." Caught in the crossfire, another ship succumbed to the withering fire. History turns on moments such as these. The Empire and the Federation, brother against brother, in a fight for supremacy in the battleground of infinite space. Ultimate victory elusive and ephemeral. Along the starboard side of the Federation flagship, flame jetted briefly into the void. Huge turrets launched ballistic ordnance along carefully plotted trajectories. Torpedoes, sleek elongated weapons of mass destruction, launched from their storage bays lodged along the lower hull of the vast ship. They streaked out, trailing plumes of vapor from their simple chemical engines. Ships broke from formation to evade fire or gain a superior position. Beam weapons were triggered, scintillating rays of vicious directed energy, impaling smaller vessels, ripping shields away, burning through hulls and disgorging their internals into the void. Kahina caught sight of the battle as their ship emerged from the rock field. Ships were fighting all around them. She gasped in dismay as an anaconda was rammed by a damaged Cobra just like theirs. In horror, she saw the anaconda explode. The Cobra spun impotently for a moment before its structure failed. Luco's ship rocked briefly as he tried to avoid hitting part of the wreckage. "How many people aboard those ships?" "You have your war, Signorina," Luco said darkly. "Just get me to the station," Kahina replied, her face ashen. All around them, the firefight raged. Beams of light and tracer fire connecting the vessels in a deadly cobweb of destruction. Fighters zipped and whirled about them, trading fire in a deadly dance of death. "Covering fire!" the Admiral ordered. The mighty guns aboard the Imperial flagship thundered in concert as the Imperial ships converged to protect the tiny Cobra as it weaved between them. The Federation ships were close now, pounding away with every piece of ordnance at their disposal. "Maintain our position until the Cobra is under cover of the station," the Admiral ordered, his face grim with determination. The Imperial fleet was being forced to hold a defensive line in order to protect the Cobra. It exposed them to the full fury of the Federation fleet without being able to respond in kind. Already outnumbered, they would be quickly overwhelmed unless... "Cobra is past the phalanx, sir. It's running at full throttle." The Admiral grinned and clenched his fist. "Form up all ships. Concentrate fire on the Federation battlecruiser. Rear quarter. Now we turn the tide." Missiles screamed in towards the rear of the Federation flagship. A coordinated strike on the damaged section. The starboard drive, already gone, exploded under the assault, ripping away a sizable chunk of the ship with it. The Federation flagship lurched perceptibly and then slowly pulled away. One of its drives reduced to slag. From the Trevors driving through the deck, the Commissioner sensed they'd suffered a significant amount of damage. "Disengage and withdraw," the captain shouted above the mayhem. "Pull back! Signal all ships! Disengage!" "Captain, we need that ship!" The captain shook his head. "It's too late." The Commissioner slammed his palm down against the bridge railing. "Damn the girl," he fumed. "What is it going to take to get rid of her?"